Unpopular opinions. We all have some of them, but I want to talk about my personal favorite unpopular opinions that I have, not only about money, but just about people, cancel culture, all this kind of societal BS. So without further ado, let's get into all that and more. It's Crystal with the Cash Compass. All right, welcome back. I am here to teach you all the things that you should have learned in school about money, but for whatever reason, they forgot to mention it. If you love all things personal finance, investing, economics, money, unpopular opinions, apparently, you're gonna definitely want to subscribe and hit that bell. Don't worry, if you don't do it right now, I'll remind you later. Let's get into it. All right, so I actually got this idea from my little cousin who has a YouTube channel also. So if you have any teenagers who are interested, I guess in like lifestyle, definitely go ahead and give her a subscribe too. But I'm gonna do something a little bit different because it's gonna be about money, of course, to kind of keep on brand with my channel. But I also want to just, talk a little smack with you, okay? So let's start off with this one. This is the one that I personally, it like literally grinds my gears because I do not understand when people do this. Okay, a lot of people will take something as a fact and they will really argue with you on the internet. They will literally fight you. And it's like, you guys are not doing anything different than what I'm doing. And I know it sounds confusing, but I'm gonna explain. This could deal with anything. It could be race, religion, politics, the whole vaccine thing right now. A lot of people have their opinions, which they are 100% entitled to, but they literally think they are better than you because of how they got their information, right? So I'm going to use the vaccines as an example. Maybe you saw on TV, they're telling you the vaccine is 99% effective. So-and-so from so-and-so university did some research and this was their findings, okay? So now somebody adopts that belief. And they're going to go and argue with somebody else online who personally, for whatever reason, maybe they've had a bad vaccine incident, or maybe they've read another article and they formed the opinion that vaccines are ineffective and they're not safe and they can lead to, fertility issues or whatever, right? They have a difference of opinion. Now, the person who got their information from this, so-and-so from so-and-so university, let's say they went to Harvard or something, they're going to say, oh, so are you really going to believe a mom on Facebook over some person that I don't even know at a university? When you really break it down, those two people are doing the same exact thing. They are forming an opinion based on how they feel, not necessarily anything of substantial evidence, right? And let me kind of explain that. They told you on the TV or wherever you read this article or whatever, they may have told you, so Dr. whoever from Harvard University had these findings. And it might sound good to you, right? That resonates to you. You believe in science, you believe in Harvard, Harvard is an Ivy League school. And because of that information, you chose to believe this was presented to you, right? But did you look at the research? Did you see how big their population was? Did you see if the population was diverse, right? Did it include people from different backgrounds, different age groups, different geographic locations? Did you corroborate any of their findings? Do you even know who this is? Did this person even really go to Harvard, right? You probably don't know any of that. And trust me, I know people personally who have lied and said they've completed a degree from whatever university on their resume and they have not, okay? If you're watching this, most people, I'm not going to say everybody because that wouldn't be true, right? But an overwhelmingly majority of people just kind of take what they heard at face value and they run with it. Same thing with the other person who probably read an article that vaccines were ineffective. You could probably find an article that would negate everything you read in the original article, right? The person who wrote that article could just be somebody who's bitter because the person who made the vaccine is their ex-boyfriend. So they're trying to tell you don't get the vaccine because they don't want to, they want to mess with their pockets. We don't really know what the source is, but ultimately you're just going off of what you believe, right? The person who chose to believe the Harvard whoever and didn't actually corroborate or confirm anything, they're choosing to believe that this is true, and you're choosing to believe that that is true. So why do people get so mad at each other when it's like, listen, in this world, in this internet age, you can find an opposing argument to everything. People will argue with you literally that unicorns are real. People will argue with you that 1 + 1 is not 2. I mean, you can literally find evidence against everything on this internet thing. So ultimately, you have to do what feels right to you. That sounds super like hippie, but that's the truth. All right. And this one is important, okay? When looking for a mate, a lot of people will shame you for saying you want somebody with money. They're going to call you a gold digger or whatever else terms they come up with for women and men these days, because they call us everything in the book, right? Let me tell you right now, I would not be dealing with anybody who can't take care of themselves. And I have no shame saying that. I definitely think more people should actually say that, because maybe more people will be influenced to actually do better, okay? A lot of times, and I've been I'm not gonna say a victim, but I have been dumb enough to do this, where I'm just like in love with somebody and they can't even take care of themselves, and I find myself helping them out way more than I probably should, right? If you cannot take care of yourself, I'm not even telling you to be able to pay for all their things and do all this stuff for them. No, but if you can't even take care of yourself, maybe dating is not for you at this moment. Okay, dating is a distraction. Maybe you should make sure you get distracted with some actual work so you can be established and you have something else to kind of be more, I don't want to say attractive. That sounds terrible, but you make yourself a more attractive fish in the pond, right? Because when I'm looking through the pond and all I see is broke people, guess what? I'm just not going to fish them up, because I want you to be able to take care of yourself. And this is for men or women, okay? I do think that you can find your match no matter what, even if you are somebody who is dead, broke, and naked. There's going to be somebody who will pick you up under their wing. But I think that a lot of times it does breed insecurities on both ends, but especially for men. I think that if they have a woman who's very established, but then they are not so much, it can cause problems. And I think that if that's the situation that you're in, you probably shouldn't date. Just wait till you can properly court somebody. Wait till you're not complaining about taking somebody out to dinner, right? Because dating requires spending some amount of money, whether it's just driving to the park that you're going to go to, or paying for a dinner, or paying whatever. I mean, everything in life requires money. Are you going to get mad because you have to pay to get on the bus? No, you get on the bus and you pay, right? So dating is the same thing. Sometimes it requires money. It does. I don't know. And if you're mad about that, then that might be a sign that you need to get your money up. Okay. I also think it's really jacked up how we are so conditioned to believe certain things that we are literally brainwashed, right? Like, who created the professional aesthetic, okay? Who said business casual meant blazers that are so tight, skirts that are so stiff and get super wrinkled, and just completely uncomfortable clothes for the workplace? When did that become professional? Or a professional hairstyle? Certain parts of the world, for example, me as a Black woman, I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing braids, or at least I didn't, right? At a certain point, I felt like it was unprofessional, but it's like, who said that? Who told me, braids was unprofessional? One time, this lady at my job had pink hair, and I remember just being so, like, shocked, because I'm like, did this lady really come in here with pink hair? But it's like, I gotta stop and think to myself, like, wait a minute, like, I'm being super judgmental, and who said pink hair wasn't professional? I think we are so groomed at a too young of an age to try to fit into boxes. And that's why people are super depressed. I know that kind of went super left field, but it's true. We kind of say what professionalism is supposed to look like, how you're supposed to talk, speak, and present yourself. People were telling me when I first started my channel, don't wear this, don't wear that, because they're not going to take me seriously. Listen, if you're going to get aroused when I'm talking about money because you just can't help but look at whatever, you need to check that up with yourself. Maybe you need to go ahead and pray, pull up an article. I don't know. You need help, right? But I should be able to do what I want and call it whatever I want to. I think it's really weird that people try to tell you and force you into a box. Like, I can come on here and give you a great, amazing information that's going to maybe even change your life, but because you don't like my shirt, you can't focus. Can you please make it make sense in the comments? Because I don't get it. Next one is the whole concept of like being on the grind, and I had to pray for times like this to shine like that. So, I think the scarcity mentality is actually really, really dangerous. I have witnessed in my personal life, and let me know if you've ever felt this way too, but I have experienced in my personal life that when I actually don't operate from a scarcity mentality, where I'm not saying, let me just explain what I mean. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to spend this money because I have to save it for this and I have to do this, right? I'm not saying being totally reckless, but not operating from a place of I'm not going to get this back, so I have to kind of hold on to it for dear life. Literally, when I have just let go and kind of not had that mentality, the money ends up coming back tenfold. Maybe not tenfold, but it comes back. And it's just the oddest thing. I don't know how to explain that phenomenon, but it's like, if you have that mentality, I'm not judging you, by the way, but if you have that mentality, I would definitely suggest maybe play with not having that mentality, right? Not really feel like you have to hold on to everything you have. You can't share, you can't be giving because you're going to be without, right? No, give freely, give generously. Don't be afraid to spend money on yourself. That money will come back. And a lot of times when you end up spending that money on, being charitable or taking care of yourself, or taking care of your family, something happens in the universe, okay? And it does come back to you. And a lot of times it comes back in an even better way, right? So I definitely think that people who are always touting like, yeah, I didn't spend anything, I used to eat bread and beans because I was just trying to grind and da-da-da-da-da. I definitely see that and I respect that, but I think it can be a hindrance if you're always operating from a this is mine, I can't let go. Be charitable because it will come back to you. All right, this one is a little bit personal because I had to go back to work. Yes, my work from home turned to work from work a little bit too quickly and too abruptly for me. And I've kind of seen this in a couple of cultures, in a couple of work cultures anyway. Some people are on the one end where it's like their job is like, look, don't ever come back, all right? We're good, stay at home. We're gonna actually close down the office and now everybody's working from home. And then there's those other ones who are just really wanting their people to be in so bad. And I just cannot figure out or fathom. I cannot fathom why it's that important. We were working effectively, right? They're like, nothing was wrong. We were still efficient. Why all the anger? And I kind of like, I don't get it. I think sometimes employers want to police their workers, right? They don't want you to be free. They don't want you doing your laundry in the middle of the day. They don't want to pay you to take a nap, right? Because most people who work from, hold on, let me backtrack. But some people who work from home would take advantage of it, right? And might overdo it. And maybe they are less productive. But if you can prove to your employer that you are productive and that you can get your work done and you can still enjoy a work-life balance, and maybe you can step out in the middle of the day to go handle some personal business, but then you get right back to work, what is wrong with that? Why do employers want you to sit there and they want to watch you? And when you're not that busy, they want you to just sit at the computer under that terrible fluorescent lighting, cold as hell, with nothing to do. This whole time, my laundry could have been done. I could have been on load 3. I'm really hoping that because of COVID and most people got to get a taste of working from home, that will shift the dynamic in these employers and they will not become such police and want you to show face. Hopefully this kind of breeds more employers who have more faith in their company and more faith in who they hire, and they can trust their employees, right? Or maybe we could have some sort of like hybrid, right? Maybe not coming to work every single day. I mean, give me something, throw me a crumb. I feel like last year was so nice because employees got to kind of like stick it to the man in a way. It's like, listen, I've always wanted to work from home. You guys always want me to show face. Now I have to work from home and I'm killing it and I can still do what I want. So, and what? Right? I think that they didn't like that too much, but I really wish we could make a bigger push for kind of having more work flexibility and having a true work-life balance. I work a lot, okay? My job, it's like, I don't know, I feel like 7 out of the 12 months, I can't even take off, okay? I can't even think about taking off, and you better not get sick, all right? Because you're out of luck. So to have that flexibility to be able to work from home would be nice, and it would be a way to show your employees, like, hey, we care about you, we do want you to maintain a balance in life. But they don't care. And while I'm on the topic of employers and jobs, why don't we talk about our money and our incomes, okay? Somebody had asked me what my income was and I told them freely, and we actually had a great conversation about it, right? And I think that needs to happen more because when we are being underpaid and when we are being mistreated, it's because a lot of times it's because we don't have that communication, and we're not kind of demanding more, right? We've kind of been socialized and trained to not talk about your money. Don't tell people how much money you make. They're going to be watching your pockets, when really it's actually stopping us from progressing, right? Because if I tell you, hey, listen, I found a job that's 9 to 5. I don't have to work weekends. I don't have to work late, and I make 6 figures. That might motivate you, right? And you might say, oh, listen, that means that's out there, and I'm gonna go get that, and I'm gonna go demand that. And when I'm negotiating, I can say this with an amount of confidence because I know that this is possible, okay? And because we don't have those conversations, I'm not gonna say that's the reason why we have minimum wage so low or whatever, but I think we could command more money if we spoke about what the money is that we actually made. What do you think though? Let me know. Also, this video is getting kind of long, but I still have a couple more things to say. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and she kind of mentioned, because I haven't really been in the like labor field in a little while. I haven't had to look for a job, thankfully, in a while, right? But what she was explaining to me was that a lot of times what happens is these employers are requiring you to have a degree, any degree. It doesn't even have to be in the field, right? So I could have a degree in shoe tying, and as long as you have a degree in shoe tying, well, you can go ahead and be a mechanic, or you could go ahead and be a teacher, right? I'm not saying that's the truth about those two industries. I'm just throwing on an example, right? Some jobs, like what should be entry-level jobs, are requiring degrees, any degree, just to prove that you can make it through 4 years of school, 4 additional years of school, and then you can get the job. Let's cancel that, right? If I went to school to learn how to blow bubbles, that should not be a prerequisite for me to learn how to paint, I don't know, paint acrylic glass or something like that, right? It's 2 whole different things. That just further prove that it could be a little bit scamish. And I hate saying that because obviously I had a degree. My degree worked really well for me and in my field. But some fields truly just do not need this. Honestly, even with accounting, you can do that without a degree, okay? There are certain things that require a lot more technical analysis and kind of more deeper knowledge, but you can get it through experience, right? I mean, I learned the very basics at college. I don't think I learned a whole bunch of complex things. When I got into the actual industry and I coupled my knowledge, my book knowledge, with the experience, that's when I truly started to grow. But you know, I could have gotten that if I just spent those 4 years instead really learning about the company and learning about accounting through the actual experience. You let me know though, have you ever had a situation where you felt like, got this degree for no reason, but you know, whatever, at least I have it, but you could have probably learned all that stuff on the job? Like, let me know in the comments. But to me, it just seems like a scam, okay? Now I'm forced to go to school in whatever, it doesn't even really matter, just so I can have a degree. But then guess what? The debt that I get from my student loans will not get covered by this job, right? Because this job doesn't even pay me enough to really comfortably live out here. And that's another thing. We don't really look at school like an investment, and we don't really try to calculate it. Or like, even when you get in school, they make you take all these dumb classes. Like your first 2 years of university is just like random credits they want you to have. None of those credits are, listen, why don't you calculate how much your major makes and if it's going to be profitable for you, right? Or look at your different options. Why don't you calculate the opportunity cost of maybe not going to school or going to school, like, and really make a sound decision. Don't tell me I need to take world geography. Tell me I need to take classes that are actually going to make or break my life. Okay, I don't get that. But let me know what you think. Do you agree with anything that I said or disagree with anything I said? Definitely drop it in the comments below. But that will do it. If you like this video, then please be sure to like this video and share it with your friends. And if you have anything else going on, you know what to do. Go ahead and binge watch me. And until next time, keep your money up.